this. Sorry it was a delay on your reading. It being my birthday month, I was kind of delayed on a lot, actually. I was like, you know what? It's time to celebrate. I was born. But yeah, anyway. So right now the moon is at 74.1% illumination in the sign of Scorpio. Headed towards a half moon in Sagittarius, somewhere between March 2nd and 4th. I keep, like, I know it's like gonna be midday between like one of the days, right? Like between either the 2nd and the 3rd and the 3rd and the 4th. But I'm not gonna go back and check. So yeah. But yeah, we're coming out of that full moon in Virgo. So let's see kind of what you can be expecting moving forward. What's coming in, what's going out, where you're at. Yeah, we're just gonna check everything. So who are you? Tell me who you are. I'll find out. Alright, let's see. We have Nephilim. You are someone who is assessing new perspectives, right? They could be a bit controversial to you, right? They could be, you could be kind of envisioning a new dynamic for your life, something that goes against the grain, right? Then we have the Flower of Life. This is all about inspiration, awe, and dreams. You could be like having some pretty intense dreams. I recommend writing them down. This is also where I don't practice what I preach. As much as I know I should, I struggle to write down my dreams. But is the advice here. I'm gonna tell you. If you try, I'll try. Okay. We'll both write down our dreams. But yeah, and the Flower of Life really talks about growth and like connecting the dots, like understanding the way that each decision that you've ever made, each, you know, thing that you've ever done has like kind of fractaled off into the life that you now have, into the person that you now are. There's a lot of growth, right? And I like that you're assessing new perspectives, because I really dislike cognitive dissonance. You know, I feel like people who are able to change their mind about things, or to look at opposing views, or look at things from a different perspective, that's really a sign of intelligence. You know, it's not really how much information you've memorized, right, or regurgitated. It's really about, like, are you adaptable? You know, can you change your mind? Can you hear opposing viewpoints without getting mad because your whole identity isn't tied to that, right? It's not tied to opinions about things, or, you know. So I feel that you're breaking out of some kind of unconscious bias here. We have the Seven of Swords coming out. I'm going to clarify that because this is interesting. It's a card of like lying, cheating, stealing, and spying, right? There's a lot that goes into the Seven of Swords, right? And without a lot to go off of, since we just started the reading, I want to clarify it because I want to know exactly which meaning it's saying by that? Alright, like I want to know what we're dealing with here. So let's clarify the Seven of Swords. Okay, yeah, so Seven of Swords was clarified by the Ten of Swords and the Two of Pentacles, right? So Ten of Swords tells me that this is something that could have already completed. Somebody could have betrayed you, or you could have felt like stabbed in the back, but defeated about a situation, right? Like Ten of Swords is not the happiest fucking ending, right? Like typically in like a Rider-Waite deck, I mean, it's the imagery is not so much in this deck, but in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you'd see a guy laying on the ground with 10 swords sticking out of his back, like he's dead. You know, like that's final. You know, it's a when I see the Ten of Swords, I see like a situation like coming to a whole halt, right? Like there's no more damage that could be done in that situation, right? So that clarifying the Seven of Swords tells me that you could have been lied to, cheated on, betrayed in some way. Like you experienced a lot, right? Then we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles, right? 10 represents the end of a cycle, 1 or ace, and 2 represents the beginning stages of a new cycle. So this tells me that with the Ace of Pentacles, like, that you're really like going into your golden era here. The Ace of Pentacles is the largest pentacle in the deck. This is about grabbing onto new opportunities. This is about really being optimistic about your future and what kind of opportunities are at hand here. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. I do see a decision to be made, or like weighing out some options here. So let's clarify that. What is the Two of Pentacles about? Could also be a decision that you're making with the Four of Cups, followed up by the Ten of Cups in reverse and the Three of Pentacles. This tells me that with the Four of Cups, the decision that you're making or that you've made, right, is to reject something or to like walk away from something, because with the Ten of Cups in reverse, it's like the reason for this is that there was no emotional fulfillment. It's like a whole situation just left you feeling disappointed and defeated, right? And all that you were left with was, you know, like feeling like you got the opposite of what you thought this would be. Like it just did not turn out how you wanted. Like I see that there was like attachment, but it also, it's weird because it's like attachment that lacks connection, if that makes sense, right? Like the connection requires comprehension, right? It requires like an ability to be present with somebody, right? And it's like this attachment, this emotional attachment is coming from a place of not really being present, right? It's like someone was just super in their head, you know, and could have been a negative attachment, you know. That's kind of what it feels like. Like there was codependency, perhaps, you know. We have the Three of Pentacles here, and this is like a focus on work and friendships, maybe getting a new roommate or something. It just kind of looks like your life just starts going in a whole new direction, you know? And we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This is also a stage where you're learning about independence, like what life is like when you are able to separate from that codependency, right? Like if somebody heavily relied on you, in not like a toxic way though, you know, it's like there was not a lot of reciprocation. It was, you be here and do what I want you to do. However, I'm not going to compromise when it comes to the things that you want to do, if that makes sense. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I feel like the person that you dealt with is the Queen of Wands in the upright is like the most attractive queen in the deck. You know, she has this energy, this magnetism. She inspires people. She's honest, right? Wands is honest communication, so she is the queen of that, right? She is, you know, living her truth, speaking her truth, like very open and magnetic. And with the Queen of Wands in reverse, it's like the opposite, right? It's like somebody who dealt with insecurities and, you know, perhaps, you know, didn't have a lot of nice things to say. Somebody who got validation through tearing down others. You know, the Queen of Wands in reverse is somebody who's just super low vibrational. You know, like somebody that couldn't be honest if it's, you know, to save their life. They're just shady, you know, it's that Seven of Swords energy. It's like somebody that you dealt with just, and it was because there's such a disconnect with themselves, you know. It's not even necessarily that they're bad people, it's that they're disconnected from their true self. And when you're disconnected from your true self, you can't operate in integrity, right? That's not how that works. So it's like if you are to operate in integrity, you'd have to be fully self-aware and also understand that every single part of you is worthy of love and, you know, and coming from yourself, you know, not even just from everyone else. Like, fuck external validation, love yourself first, you know. But it's like this person was raised with the opposite mindset, right, where it's like seek outside validation because they don't think that they'll ever be good enough, right? Perhaps that's something that they did as a child too, right? It's got younger sibling vibes. Not all younger siblings, you know, but like, you know, the youngest sibling tends to be like from all I've learned from psychology, it's like they tend to be very, like they seek out a lot of external validation, right? They need that from other outside sources. Whereas like an oldish child is, you know, going to be more like introverted or more inside themselves. They're going to not seek outside validation. They, you know, grow to an age where they're like, fuck everybody else's opinion, you know? And but yeah, this person just has like this energy where they're just not spiritually grown, right? Like they could be like 27 and spiritually they're like 12, you know? It's like, and you know, I've seen that dynamic where like children can sometimes seem older and wiser than some of their parents, you know? And it's like, it just happens, you know, like your soul age is not the same as like your physical age, you know, and I feel that this weighed you down a lot because it's like you had this vision for like the potential, right? You fell in love with the potential of what the situation could be, but it's like they weren't fully on board with that, right? They you know, had attachment styles that they developed in their childhood, and they had learned how to express themselves in ways that are not good, right? That are kind of toxic. So it's like, yeah, it just looks like you were dealing with somebody that was rough. Yeah, we have the Nine of Swords. I do see the energy of you overthinking, right? Restlessness, overthinking, just all up in your head about something. Could be this situation, you know, like making that decision to walk away, or if you've already made that decision. But let's clarify it. That's funny. This is very similar to my last reading. We have the Four of Wands in reverse, which tells me that, like, this could have been like a divorce or like a long-term commitment that is being severed here. Four of Wands is the marriage card. Four of Wands in reverse is like divorce. It's the opposite of marriage, right? It's when that falls apart, basically. And I see that this could have been traumatic for you, right? This could have, like, really left a wound. Because it's like you got the brunt of, like, all their shit, right? They unpacked all their emotional baggage right onto you, and now it's like it's become a burden that you also carry now, right? Because your energies were intertwined. You know, when you're in a connection like that, your energies intertwine. That's why I tell people, you gotta be careful who you have sex with. Like, make sure that's the energy you want to be carrying around, because, like, it's important to know if that's the energy you want in your life in the long term, you know. Because when you have sex with people, even a one-night stand could have an energetic resonance into the next life, right? Like, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be significant to you for that long, you know. It just means, like, energetically, like, if you're not smudging yourself, if you're not salt bathing, you know, and doing all that stuff, you could be carrying the energy of, you know, past people, and that can really affect your frequency. We have Princess of Pentacles in reverse. You could have a child with this person, right? There could be a struggle with that. Because this is like a younger feminine energy who's, like, in the, like, feeling like they're at a loss, they have to let go of something, or, like, something has just been shifted in their life. They're feeling like they're going through some shit. With the Three of Swords, this is a card of heartbreak, you know. Like, I'm feeling like hearts are broken here, dog. There's, you know, and then just did not work out. It's very unfortunate. Alright, what is your advice? Ten of Wands. You have 10-10, you know, 10 of Cups in reverse with 10 of Wands, which tells me that you're, like, that there are endings and new beginnings right here, you know, and it's, your advice here is to end this cycle, right? 10 is the ending of a cycle. It's to end this cycle by releasing the emotional burdens that weigh you down, right? By, And, you know, like, I would even advise, like, therapy if, like, you know, because it does look like it's taking, like, an emotional toll on you. And sometimes that can help, you know, just having somebody to talk to and work through it with, you know. With the Chariot in reverse, I'm going to clarify that because that's part of your advice. So let me do that. I'm hearing be still. Yeah, we've got the Judgment card here, with the Chariot in reverse, and we have the Star card, which is Aquarius energy. Let's look at the imagery a little bit longer. I know I flashed the card so fast, I'm sorry. I try to work on it, and then I get into the reading, and I'm like, do. But yeah, so I think with the Chariot card in reverse, it's like saying don't be quick to, like, the Chariot is like about movement, right? So it's like, it's telling you to be still, right? Like, sometimes it's like, if you don't know what to do, the best thing to do is nothing, you know, like, if that makes sense. And with the Judgment card, it's like, wait until you have, like, your best judgment, right? Wait until you feel certain about, like, what direction you want to move in before you, like, go in that direction. The Judgment card with the Four of Wands in reverse, that also came out in the last reading, which indicates, like, there could be a divorce or whatever, and this could also be something that you struggle to move on from, you know. Then with the Star card, the Star card could mean that, one, you're, like, in the spotlight, right? Another meaning of the Star card is, like, having hope and trusting the process. You know, that's part of your advice here, is, like, understanding that there's always a silver lining. There's always that light in the darkness. That is what the star is. It is the light in the darkness. So, yeah, I feel like certainty is important. Inspiration is important. Holding on to the optimism that shit is getting better is important, right? And that's really what's coming through. We have, which is interesting, because the Star card is all about, like, certainty and hope and optimism and stuff, but then the High Priestess came out in reverse, right? Which is, like, the opposite energy. It's like fear, doubt, insecurity. I mean, I guess they don't necessarily, like, count each other out, right? They don't cancel each other out. They, like, it makes sense. Like, yeah, you're hopeful and optimistic and stuff, and yes, you're also going to be met with fear, doubt, and insecurity along the way. With the Prince of Cups in reverse, this reminds me of this song. All my love has been used, or no, wait. All my tears have been used up on another love, another love. All my tears have been used up. Sad as fuck. But yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like you might get like bursts of like optimism and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna push forward and have this, and this. But then it's like, then you remember like what you lost, what you had, what you lost, how that fucking played out, you know? Then we have the Justice card, Libra energy, which tells me that like balance will be restored, right? You're on the good side of karmic justice here, so I do see good karma coming your way. I do see things like coming full circle for you, and I feel that that's where like your advice to stay optimistic and hopeful and focus on that silver lining really plays out, because like you don't want to accidentally manifest negative things, you know, like manifest what you want, focus on the life that you want, don't focus on the life that you lost, you know. And I know that's easier said than done, I know. But you can't compare your past to your future, because like the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist, and no two situations are ever exactly identical, so there's really no comparison there. Like every person in every scenario in your life should be met with a blank slate, right? Like where you have this opportunity to discover, you know, who they are or what the situation is about, you know, like be unbiased and just kind of let life unfold, you know, you know, because you won't know until you know, right? If you don't know, now you know. You know, and it's just, yeah, allowing yourself to the space, the time, the energy to really decide like what you want in your life and how you want that to play out. We have 8 of Wands in reverse, and I feel like, you know, whatever it is, like with the 8 of Wands in reverse and the Chariot in reverse, it's like you're slow to move. Like you're slow to move forward, you're slow to move on. Because, and I'm not saying like physically, like you might have physically separated from the situation. It's like emotionally, there's still like a hold, right? There's still like that pain, you know? We have the Tower in reverse. This is rebuilding your life. This is, you know, like after everything has like fallen apart, you know, it's like rebuilding a new foundation. King of Cups in reverse, followed up by the 7 of Cups in reverse, tells me that you may be at a stage where you're just not like looking for love. You know, like you're not, like you might have been, it might have turned you a bit cold towards love, right? You might be a little like closed off for that. You don't, you know, like, and that shit happens. Like I've fucking been there. I get it, right? And sometimes I feel like that's a necessary part of the journey too, you know, to go through that. That's where your ego protects you, and that's where you're able to integrate the ego the best, I feel, because then you feel it protecting you. Because when you get cold and you're just like, you know, it's almost that King of Swords vibe, you know, it's like, you're just like, okay, I'm not dealing with bullshit. I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to let myself be manipulated. I'm not going to let myself get hurt again. And yeah, you just might be like closed off to the potential there. And that's because you don't want to feel like you felt before, right? You don't want to be back in that situation. King of Cups in reverse with the Seven of Cups in reverse can also say that you're having a change of heart about that past person too, or that you will, right? Where the cup runs dry and you're just like, okay, I'm fucking over it, right? That's no longer an option for me, right? Seven of Cups represents romantic options. With that in reverse, it's like, that's no longer an option. The well is dry. So, I'm going to see if there's anything else before we close this out. Six of Wands in reverse. I feel like this is advice here, to not to give attention to what you don't want in your life, right? If you don't want the pain and the suffering and all that, it's like, pull your attention away from that. Don't focus on that. Focus on your work and, your foundation. Focus on what you want for yourself. Focus on building that relationship with yourself, and like really be selective and intentional about where you're directing your energy. Who does it go to? What situations does it go to? I feel that certainty is the best, and like I said, if you don't know what to do, the thing to do is do nothing, right? It's better than making decisions when you're feeling conflicted about that, right? And then making the wrong one. So, like, always, for anything else, to thine own self be true, Then we have the Hanged Man, Neptune energy. And the Hanged Man represents, like obstacles and hang-ups and things that inhibit your ability to move forward and move on, right? So it's like, stop paying attention to the things that hold you back. Stop paying attention to the things that are halting any progress or not helping you to push forward, right? Focus on the things that bring you growth, and make you feel like more in alignment with your true self, Because the thing is we all have that true self inside of us that's like quirky and dorky and, is off the wall, right? We all have our own unique nature. However that it looks, and it's like, what I feel like your focus should be is tapping into that, right? Tapping into the core of like your most authentic self and just living it, right? Vibing on it. Kalika Tantrika. Kali overcomes karma, realigns us with our path when we have veered off course, reverses the momentum of negativity, and detaches draining energy cords, restoring us to full vitality. It may seem like your will is being thwarted or you are not getting what you want, but the goddess knows what she is doing. Her actions will benefit you. Trust. Alrighty, and that is what I have for you. Namaste, I love you guys, and I'll see you later.